What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle content. And in today's video, we're taking a look at what I honestly think has surfaced to me as the best Great League team of this new meta. Serperior, dude, I'm sold on Serperior. It's so good. If you don't have one, you need one, and it's worth an Elite TM to put Frenzy Plant on it. I absolutely think so. Aerial Ace getting buffed made this thing an absolute monster, and also the fact that Noctowl is no longer a meta mainstay, and there's other flyers that took the place of it that are not so strong against grass. Grass is just so good right now. And Serperior with a Shadow Steelix and a Purified Sableye in the back. We're using this as a pseudo ABB team. We're not necessarily using a strict ABB formula, but we're using Sableye to bait out a Azumarill or Lickitung or something else that we can get out of the way so that we don't have to worry about it with Steelix later. Now, I know Lickitung's not exactly a hard counter to Steelix, but okay. Anyway, let's take a look at the battles here and see how strong this team is, because I guarantee you that you will want to build it after we're done with this video. Getting into the first game, we've got Serperior into the mirror lead here. Kind of dicey, honestly. I can't really just bring in Steelix, and I can't really just bring in Sableye. The reason why I can't bring in Sableye is because it gets outpaced if I swap it in, and the Frenzy Plants hurt. If you haven't taken one on a Sableye before, they do like 70-something%. It hurts. Now, I make the weird decision here to try and catch a move, and I know it's going to be an Aerial Ace. And thankfully, I catch it. But my opponent's got a ton of energy here, so this is really still risky. So, I'm going to start farming up energy on Sableye. I think Sableye is definitely one of the best save swaps in the Great League again. It's something that really promotes and rewards good move timing, good baiting situations, you know, kind of getting that feel for the technical play of Sableye, and knowing what you can and can't tank. My Sableye is an XL Sableye. It's the first XL I ever built, so I'm very proud of it. But going for the return here, I'm going to net myself, hopefully, shield advantage, or be able to farm down what's left of that Umbreon here. We'll see. Opponent, let it go, and they get farmed down because the Shadow Claw being such a good move. I get switch advantage, which I'm not sure if I really wanted it. But I'm going to be able to tank an Aerial Ace here on Serperior. Serperior, by the way, being extremely, very bulky for a grass type. So after absorbing that energy, I'm going to come with my Steelix. My opponent comes in with a Spark Lanturn. They're going to go straight for the Surf. And I feel like I've got a win condition here, right? So I can get this Lanturn out of the way. My Steelix is doing good here at resisting the fast move. If I can hit it with some breaking swipes, or if I can get shields, which my opponent doesn't shield that. If they don't shield that, man, by the way, I swear, I lose every single bait or nuke call that I make. Every time I go for the bait, they no shield it. Every time I go for the nuke, they shield it. So I don't know what to do anymore, man. I just try to throw stuff and see what happens. But truthfully, I should just start throwing Earthquake at them, because for some reason they don't think they need to shield anything, which is certainly what baffles me. But anyway, Steelix being an absolute dominant force, going to start getting shields off of this Serperior. I'm going to swap out here and look to get into the Aerial Ace damage here, and I'm going to lose this race to the next charge move, but I have so much HP that they are not going to be able to take me out from here. I should outpace to the third, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. And the nice thing about this team, like, I know that we're like featuring Sableye, but the whole team really is cracked. And the really cool thing is that I always felt like I had play. Like, even when I was countered, like, I still felt like I had play. This whole team has play into Deoxys, for example. And the way that I like to usually go about it is I'll throw a Frenzy Plant, and then I'll try to catch a move on the Steelix, because all of the damage from Deoxys' charge moves are resisted. Now, they always farm up to a different number. I never get the same number. But then my opponent comes in here with a Lanturn running Water Gun, so this is a lot less beneficial for me. I want to say I live this, but I'm not sure, and I'd like to keep playing this matchup out, because what I'd like to do here is potentially get a shield. Because my opponent may be thinking that they need switch advantage. I'd like to get a shield out of the way if I can help it. They're going to shield because they think that this could be an Earthquake. But now I'm just going to go for breaking swipes. My whole plan there was hopefully to get a shield. Look, I got one call right. Yay! But like the entire time I'm doing this, I want to be able to get in with my Serperior and farm this Lanturn all the way down. That's what I'm hoping to do here. And that's why Steelix is such a good safe swap in this Great League meta, is if it can get something in and breaking swipe it a few times, like, it just enables these nasty farm downs, dude. Like, this could be a Thunderbolt, could be a Surf. Look, it can do nothing. It tickles, dude. Look at Thunderbolt. Tink! Nothing. And then Lanturn's going to go down. Serperior's got a huge farm down. Deoxys probably has about a Psycho Boost loaded. And I disobey myself. I always throw fast moves in this situation, but my opponent comes with Umbreon. I thought they were going to come in with the Deoxys right away and try and go for a Psycho Boost and then dip, try and, you know, take out my Serperior a bit. And this is kind of beneficial for me because now all I have to do is keep my Serperior alive, or at least save a shield for Sableye to be able to take this out. So I'm going to say that I lived this foul play, and I'm going to throw the Vine Whip. I see that my opponent has swapped, and I immediately get into my Sableye and bank that energy. Serperior wins CMP against everything on the rest of this opponent's team. I just farm down, go for a return here against the Umbreon, and then they're within Frenzy Plant range, and this is pretty much going to be a good game at this point. So well played to my opponent. Sableye, it just, if you line it up on that Deoxys, it's just a menace, dude. It just farms so much. It's such a good Pokemon. I love Sableye. This is, oh, I remember this game. Getting into this next match, we've got a Cresselia in the lead. This is kind of awkward for me. I feel like I probably should have just swapped immediately, but what I wanted to do here was chip the Crest and then swap. The thing is I really wanted to try and catch Moonblast on Steelix here. So what I'm going to do here is swap right away. Probably not the smartest thing because now the opponent can just come in with a Diggersby, right? So if I had been able to get out of that matchup, but now the opponent's got like a Moonblast and a half loaded. And this is a horrible, horrible matchup for Steelix. I'm just going to keep going for Breaking Swipe and try and do as much damage as I can. Maybe enable Serperior to get a farm down because I'm not going to win this matchup by any means at all. I get an attack drop from my opponent here. And we're here for the attack drops, right? That was a comment by someone on my stream when I was doing these battles. This exact battle, which is what I remembered it. So shout outs for the person, I can't remember the name at the moment, but whoever made that comment was love you for being on the stream. And if you have not been in my streams lately, what are you doing? Come see us Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 6 p.m. Eastern, and we can get you in and we can have some fun molding together. I have an absolute blast on my streams, but I mauled my face off like every day. So I'm going to let this go. I know there's no chance for me to win, even though they go for Fire Punch anyway. Serperior is going to get a small farm down, has a bunch of HP, and in comes an Alolan Sandslash. Like, oh, goodness. All right, so this is painful. Serperior has play into the Alolan Sandslash when it's a shadow because those Frenzy Plants can do about, you know, almost, it's like 40-45%. Honestly, if the Vine Whips gets it into range. I know that I can live an Ice Punch here. What I'm really hoping to do here is just sweep with 2 shields with my Sableye. So Frenzy Plant's going to get the first shield for my opponent. They're going to go for a charge move right away. I have to save at least a shield for the Moonblast that comes my way. I'm going to try to farm down, have 2 foul plays loaded, but I chicken out because I don't want to spend a shield yet. My opponent going for a charge move here, and I have to spend the shield. Like at this point, I should have just committed because I'm going to have to spend a shield anyway. I may as well just farm it all the way down. So if I come out of that matchup with close to 2, I think that I may have had a better shot here. But unfortunately, my opponent has the energy to get to 2 Grass Knots. I'm low enough that a Grass Knot KOs. So well played to them. I just lose this one. Nothing. I don't think there's much I could have done there. So good game to them. Very well played. Getting into the next battle, we got Serperior against a Victory Bell. This could get dicey real quick. Let's see what the opponent does here. They swap immediately into Medicham, and I'm overjoyed. So I'm going to farm up some energy so that I can threaten them with an Aerial Ace and also look to catch the Ice Punch on 6. Much better to catch the Ice Punch here than on my Serperior. Now I can come with my Sableye and I can start getting some energy here. Now what I'm going to look to do here is I'm not going to throw that foul play until I have 2 foul plays or so loaded. I want to be able to get a shield from that Victory Belt immediately when it comes back in, or force them to come in with whatever they have in the back. So now that I've got 2 foul plays loaded, going to throw them, and the opponent, I mean, if they want to, they can shield. They're going to eat another foul play. My opponent comes in with a Bastiodon to farm down. It's such a readable team by my true hero, Wallower. I love that man because his content helped me become what I am today. He's also on Rock, Paper, Slark, in case anybody knows. But anyway, Bastiodon, yeah, very boring matchup here. Gonna have to shield up a potential Flamethrower. Have Steelix for the Victory Bell. Gonna overfarm here a little bit. Need to throw with good timing. Make sure they don't catch a Frenzy Plant on the Victory Bell. That's my primary #1 concern, is not to have them catch a move. Now, I get straight into the Steelix here. I'm gonna start going for Breaking Swipes. This is an interesting matchup because we're both doing neutral damage to each other, and I have my Steelix has very high defense, and the Victory Bell has very high attack, so it almost evens out to a degree. But because of the Breaking Swipe and because of Dragon Tail, I'm able to offer that damage pressure, and now because of the acid spray, they're going to get a farm down, but I mean, the attack drops kind of even it out. So I'm going to get one more Dragon Tail off, and that's huge, because now I can farm down with Serperior, and that's going to get me to the Frenzy Plant that's going to take out this Bastiodon. So well played to this trainer. I don't appreciate the team you're running because it's totally degenerate, but at the same time, well played. Rocking right into this next game here. We've got our Serperior on the lead versus a Medicham. Now, this is a very hard matchup to deal with in the lead because of the fact that we have a Steelix in the back, right? Steelix... excuse me, Steelix is here to protect against the flyers, to protect against some of the things that, you know, does not really appreciate, the Serperior doesn't really appreciate, right? But Medicham is not something that you can just swap out of. Now, the nice thing here is that I know that my Serperior absolutely tanks an Ice Punch from Medi, and they decide to swap into their their Lickitung in order to get maybe the counter or the thing that didn't want to see Medi out, because they saw that I wasn't swapping out. So they probably wanted to check and see if I have a counter to you know, something in the back. So they swap out and they bring out my Steelix. Now the thing with this matchup, folks, is if you shield that first Power Whip, Steelix kind of destroys the Lickitung after that first couple of breaking swipes go off. And you get to the first two before they get to 2 Power Whips as long as you swap quick enough. So yeah, at this point, I can just farm all the way down. All the way down. All the way down. One Power Whip, neutral damage, hardly hurts. They quick swap into the Medi now. And what I can do here is I can go for a breaking swipe and then farm down with Sableye. Or I could farm down with Serperior, really, if I wanted to, but it's too low for me to comfortably tank even a debuffed Ice Punch. So I'm going to come up with Sableye, farm all the way down. Opponent having 2 shields here, could bring back in the Lickitung, and they do. I'm going to go for the foul play before they can get to another charge move. I know they just threw the Power Whip, but I didn't want to take the risk because, you know, licks are hard to count, let's be honest. And the opponent's got an Alolan Sandslash in the back, and now I'm scared, crying, and confused because this is yet again another Alolan Sandslash, and this thing is really good into my team. But I want you all to just watch what happens here, okay? Now, I know from my own experience that this Sableye is going to get to 5, right? Or supposed to. I thought I was going to get there. I didn't. For some reason, I thought I was going to get to the foul play when they get to the Ice Punch. I was mistaken, but keep watching because this isn't over yet. Right? We're going to come in with Serperior. Going to go for the Aerial Ace because they're within range that they have to start shielding. Okay? Now, I'm going to go for the Aerial Ace. They get the shield. And I'm going to look to catch here. And they should have just thrown, dude. If I threw, I win. If I throw, I win. Because they were over farming. Maybe they're expecting a catch. They didn't know how much energy I had. I should have just thrown the Frenzy Plant and let it go. My opponent farmed up a bunch of extra energy. They are now at 2 Ice Punches. And it doesn't matter because I did check it after the game. I don't even get my charge move buttons, dude. So I didn't even get to try. I just lose. But I looked it up after the game, and Sandslash does win CMP, so I lose anyway. Good game to my opponent. That was winnable for me if I just thrown the move. But that was, you know, we get redemption in the next game. We get a Lanturn on the lead. Kind of going to destroy this thing. Greedent comes in, and I'm looking to chip it with a Frenzy Plant and then pop into Steelix. Sableye, not a good matchup here. And I mean, Steelix is really the only thing I have that can deal with this. So they're going to go for a charge move here. Probably going to be the crunch if they were paying attention to the swap, and it was. So no defense drop here, thankfully. I have to be careful because those mud shots do add up on Steelix pretty quickly. That's why I decided to Frenzy Plant first and then switch, because I wasn't going to be able to win a straight matchup with this Greedent. So I can still tank one more move. I'm going to let it go. And then afterwards, I'm going to throw Breaking Swipe or Earthquake into whatever comes in. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake bait here, right? So I have the Earthquake. I'm hoping my opponent thinks I have it. They're going to not shield up. And I'm like, I should just go for the freaking Earthquake, dude. Every time, I feel like I should just go for Earthquake at any point from now on. Because what's the point of these debuffs, right? They're just going to swap out as soon as the Serperior comes in. So I should have just gone for the Earthquake. Anyway, opponent comes in with a Shadow Charizard, and you might think, why are you staying in this matchup? The reason is because if I get an Aerial Ace, I either get a shield, and with 2 shields, my Sableye gets to 2 foul plays. Or I can get them low enough where I can just farm them all the way down with 2 shields. My opponent full sending the Blast Burn the first time. What are they going to send this time? They go for the Blast Burn yet again. The opponent's not messing around, not trying to bait, and I've got a ton of energy to throw on my Sableye, and in the back I've got a Serperior that just walls this Lanturn. So I'm pretty much chilling because my Sableye, or my Sableye's healthy, my Serperior's healthy, and it really, like, 3 Thunderbolts is probably what it would take to KO my Serperior. And they have no shields left at this point, so I'm just going to continue farming up energy. If my opponent KOs me here, that's great. I'm still going to get to my Serperior, and I'm still going to get to a Frenzy Plant before they can get to any move, and that's going to be a good game here. Well played to this opponent. I love seeing Lanturn. I love seeing Lanturn with this team because Serperior just handles it somewhere. It always does. And it makes me so happy because I hate the stupid fish. I hate it. It's an absolute RPS machine, and I hate this fish. That's why I hate this fish. All right. Serperior into another Deoxys here. Not a super great lead, but once again, we're going to be looking to throw this Frenzy Plant and then catch the energy on the Steelix and hope that whatever they swap into, we can handle with it. Because the opponent typically is going to throw a Psycho Boost into the Serperior, so if I can make a catch, it forces them to swap out. But my opponent throws right away after the charge move here, going for the Psycho Boost. They still are going to switch because they're not going to stay in this matchup. And they pop in with a swap in the Lickitung safe swap. They're tongue-tied for a second there. Frenzy Plant, gonna chip or get the shield. They get the shield, and that's fine with me. Now my Steelix is going to come in, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing as I usually do. I'm going to go for the shield on the potential Power Whip here. They wouldn't throw Body Slam at this point. It's pretty much consistently going to be the Power Whip. No reason for them to throw a Body Slam. It would do no damage. So I'm going to go 4 more Breaking Swipes here and just look to come out of this matchup with some energy, overfarm a little bit if I can. My opponent throws with some bad timing. I think they were trying to CMP me there, it looked like. But it's fine. Going to go for more Breaking Swipes here in a second. Just going to get this thing down into a point where the Dragon Tail damage would be enough to take it out, and then I'm going to have energy to throw into the Deoxys if I need to, or whatever they come in with afterwards. Deoxys likely comes back in to counter down the Steelix. However, my opponent got maybe 1 counter before they swapped out because of the Psycho Boost they threw. So they're going to have to just eat this energy. Psycho Boost is not going to be enough to KO, and I'm almost at another Breaking Swipe. So if they swap out here, I'm going to be able to just go for it. But they decide to stay in smartly, so I can't Breaking Swipe whatever they swap in. So I am going to throw the energy here. My Steelix is going to go down to the Alolan Ninetales in the back, dude. It's Shadow Alolan Ninetales. My Serperior is super low, and all I can remember from back in the day when I was using my old Sableye is I was always able to get to a return with my Sableye against this thing. So I come in with Sableye, and all I can do is reach for that return, and right as soon as I would get to it, my opponent has the exact amount of damage to KO my Sableye. It feels so bad. Well played. Maybe if I had waited for the KO, or the KO registered, didn't matter. Opponent leads Gligar, immediately going to go into the Sableye here. I mean, I don't want to let them swap in, or I don't want to let them stay in and go for a dig against my Steelix. So that's why I opt to come in with the Sableye here. Sableye, going to land the return on this Lickitung, and now I'm within range of being able to chip it with foul plays. And so that is what I'm looking to do here at this point. I'm going to shield up a Power Whip. I think I'm going to make a play for switch here, or at least what I want to do, and this is why I'm not going for the return here. I want to get this Lickitung low enough where my Serperior can farm it down, and I can use that energy on the other end to threaten the Gligar. Now, my opponent shields twice here, and I'm going to let this Body Slam through. I thought it might be a Power Whip, and at this point, I was totally fine with just letting this go. My opponent going for Body Slam, trying to chip and farm down here. This foul play is going to get the second shield off my opponent. My opponent not wanting to give me a switch, but I go for it anyway. I'm going to get switch advantage here, and having a shield advantage is also excellent. That means that both of my Pokemon here are going to have a lot of play against this Gligar. I'm going to pop in with my Steelix, I believe, here, because I'm resisting the wing attacks, and it takes them longer. Nope. See, I thought that's what I was going to do. But instead, I get some farm on the Serperior and try to catch the Aerial Ace on my Steelix. Don't get it, so the opponent goes for the dig here, most likely. I have to just eat it. And what I'm looking to do here... Ooh, they got me. They got me with the catch, but it's okay, because it's still a Breaking Swipe. It's not like it's resisted. And now what I can do is, if you can see it, I applaud you for having the sight. All I have to do here is let them take out my Steelix, save the shield for Serperior. This thing's getting farmed down any second as soon as they go for that Surf. Just do it. Just do it. Go for the Surf. Do it. And then Serperior comes in, gets to 2 Frenzy Plants, and is going to be able to take out the Gligar with all that energy. I don't care what I throw here. It's double debuffed. Not going to do any damage. Serperior going to flex all over this Gligar, getting this farm down. The opponent doesn't swap out soon. Oh, they stay in. I don't know if their switch clock was up yet. I know that they were misaligned, so I don't know if theirs was up yet, but yeah, Trainer, 2 Frenzy Plants is going to KO here, and that's going to be a good game. Very well played. Gligar being a very scary core breaker here, but able to manage past it with the Frenzy Plants, and that's going to be taking that game. Good game, well played. I love Sableye so much. It puts in so much work even into Lickitung, right? Getting into the next game against fellow content creator and streamer Lodi Colo, getting a Carbink here on the lead. You couldn't ask for a better lead. Frostlass comes in, and I stay in and throw the Frenzy Plant. Because the swap took one turn, I know that I'm going to be able to reach the Frenzy Plant one turn before they do, and they're going to shield up, and I'm going to pop them with Sableye. Now, this would have been a proper swap in if I'd come in right away, right? Now, because I decided to stay in for so long, they have a lot of extra energy here, and I have to match shields now. I threw one too late. They did overfarm a little bit, but Avalanche is going to do a lot of damage, but the CMP tie here is very unfortunate, because what's going to happen here is they just let this go, and then Carbink fully farms me down. And I'm looking to chip it with a charge move if I can. But I'm very happy to have the Frostlass out of the way here, knowing that this Carbink is going to have a bad time against both of my Pokemon here. Steelix with Earthquake completely walls and destroys Carbink, even though it has Dragon-type Fast Move. But I'm going to come in with my Serperior here, hoping to see if my opponent wants to make a play into another Pokemon here, and they do bring in a Shadow Venusaur. So I'm going to stay in here knowing my Steelix walls the absolute heck out of that Carbink, and I'm going to go for the Aerial Aces here, looking to go for the damage and or the next shield. Opponent just lets the Venusaur go, saves the shield for the Carbink, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to shield this Serperior here because I can get to a Frenzy Plant, and one Earthquake is going to take out the Carbink. If I can get the shield here, I just pop into Steelix and get the Earthquake off, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Much respect to Lodicolo. Love to do it as a streamer. If you don't watch him already, you should. He's also an excellent Master League trainer. Offers coaching as well for that. Check him out on Twitch. Next game, we've got a Medicham in the lead here. Going to play this out quite similarly to how I did before. Going to go for the Aerial Ace right away, rather. I want to get this chip damage off before the opponent gets their Ice Punch, and I'm looking to hopefully catch the Ice Punch on Steelix if I can, but I mean, at the same time, I really don't want to. Right, I have a very bad time swapping into Steelix here. Like, I can't do it. I want to, because it's a lot like Deoxys, but instead I stay in to play it out. If my opponent maybe has a Lanturn in the back, which is fairly likely, I'm hoping that with a shield advantage, I can handle it. Now, I swap into Steelix here, and I'm like, you know what? The Medicham's low enough. I have a shield advantage. They got Ice Punch. They probably have Psychic. They're not doing much damage on the charge moves with me. I'm going to go for the Breaking Swipe immediately to try and just get rid of this Medi. I think that I should have probably just popped into Sableye anyway, but they come in with a Lickitung. My Steelix has half of its HP missing at this point, which is kind of rough. I have to trust my Sableye with some shields later on in the match to get rid of this, whatever's in the back. And my opponent getting the attack drop here, which is huge. I can still spend a shield to block the Power Whip, but at this point, I'm kind of not sure if I want to. I decided the last second to shield because I can still get some damage off on this Lickitung, considering I have quite a bit of energy. I can go for Breaking Swipes here, and going to be able to get this Lickitung pretty low. At this point, this is a perfect opportunity for my Serperior to farm down. My opponent over farms a bit, I think, trying to get for another Power Whip, and they have to shield the Lickitung, which is huge. Now I'm just going to keep farming, and they have to throw. They are like 3 or 4 times debuffed at this point. This is painful for this Lickitung. Body Slam, barely going to be able to KO. Sableye comes and gets a farm, and now they have a Carbink in the back. Oh my goodness, this is rough. I have a shield. Shadow Claws do hurt, but everything I throw at this thing is resisted. My hope here is that because they just swapped out, my Serperior gets to the Frenzy Plant, and because the Rock Throws from Carbink don't do enough damage, I'm able to get to the Frenzy Plant and throw it at this stupid Carbink. Get your Carbink out of here. Hate Carbink. Taking out Carbink, and here comes the Lickitung. Going to be able to farm down my Serperior, but not going to be able to KO my Sableye. Sableye taking it on the chin like a champ. Power Whip doesn't matter. Shadow Claw down the Lickitung. Sableye has a Lickitung counter confirmed. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponents in these games. These were some really fun games played on stream. Go check out the stream from this past Monday if you want to see all the games that were played. There were more than just these. But that's going to be it from me, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.